Hi, Coach John here, and I wanted to reach back out again with a little bit more information on the survey results that I've received. And if you recall, last Tuesday I sent out a survey regarding the Laser Focus Blueprint course. I'm working on this, I'm almost done with this, and I sent out a survey to a lot of people. I've gotten dozens and dozens of responses. Totally excited about that. And really, I was asking one question and trying to get 2 hours. So based on Laser Focus Blueprint, why no means yes for your bottom line and peace of mind. What are the two things that I need to include in this course to make it mega successful for attendees? I want it to be super, super good. And I reached out to my audience and said, hey guys, tell me what are the two things I need to include. And then last Saturday, I responded to the number one issue that came back. And again, we've got dozens of issues. And the number one issue was how to stay focused. And I talked about the urgent, important quadrangle and how to identify what's most important, because that's what's going to allow you to stay focused. Because when you know you're working on the most important thing, it's easier to stay focused, easier to tune out distractions. There are other strategies as well, but that was one of them. So the second thing that came up, second really important comment that came back, survey result that came back, was how to say no. And yeah, how to say no, that's kind of hard, because we don't want somebody to walk away unhappy, disappointed, or mad, or pissed off, or have their head explode, or have a customer get mad at us because we said no, we couldn't take care of something like that. This is a little bit of a worrisome model, and so there's a process for how to say no. And actually, this is going to be one of the sessions in the Laser Focus Blueprint course. I think it's session number 2. So think back. So I'll think back when I was young, when I was a kid. We were all in this case, right? And there were times where we went and we asked our parents for something. We asked our parents to do something for us or to buy us something. And I remember when I was young, we didn't have a lot of money. And so I actually learned how to make money at a very early age. I'll tell that story another time. But I wanted some comic books. And so I went to my mother and I said, hey, can I have some money? I want to go up the street to 7-Eleven, get some comic books. And huge DC and Marvel fan. And it's kind of funny because now those are the movies, right? Spider-Man, the Avengers, all of those things. Totally into them back when I was a kid, but I was reading the actual comic books. So I went to her and I asked for some money. Can I have some money to buy some comic books? And I think comic books were about 25 cents a piece. And so if I had $1, I could get 4 of them. That would keep me busy, keep me active for a week anyway. Anyway, unfortunately, we didn't have a lot of money. She said, no, we can't do it. It's not that time. But we can, maybe Christmas is coming up, and I don't recall the exact event. Christmas is coming up, birthday's coming up, Easter's coming up. One of those gift-giving holiday type situations was coming up. But the answer was no. And I was really disappointed because I really wanted those comic books, and I was waiting for the next version or the next issue. I've been, tied into that kind of stuff for a long time, always waiting for the sequel. And she said no, and it was just really disappointing. But she also told me that it really meant not now, right? So no doesn't necessarily mean never. She said later, at another more appropriate time, she could take care of it. Because we didn't have the resources at that point to make that contribution. And the same thing is true with you and your time. When you're focused, you don't want to give up that time. That time is designed to get you mega focused and mega results. And if you have to get interrupted all the time, you're making a trade that's really not necessarily very effective. Now, one of the things that you have to realize there is I was really, really disappointed. But I knew also that, my mother was coming at this thing from a point of best intention. It wasn't that she was trying to say no to thwart me or to punish me or, it was reality. And she was telling me no, not means never, but she would have done it if we could do it, if we could make that happen. And so she was coming at it. She was saying no from a point of best intention. It wasn't that she didn't want the best for me. She did want the best for me, and I knew she wanted the best for me. And so that's the whole point. When we come at this discussion, when we come at this no from a point of best intention, then we can get much better results. Now, I know, and as a kid, you know that your parents love you, and there's no question about it. It's a very familiar love. And as you get older, you realize that not everybody's quite as loving and everybody's quite as trustworthy. And when I say loving, I'm talking about that point where they all want the best for you, because that we all realize that that's not the way the world works. And so building that trust is a component, and it's not a familial trust, and it's not a familial love, but it's a relationship trust. And Stephen Covey said it best in the sense that if you want to know the definition of trust, it's the ability to make and keep commitments. So when you make and keep commitments, then you establish trust. And you want to do that with your employees, and you want to do that with your partners, you want to do that with your service providers, and you certainly want to do that with your customers. Because you want to build that relationship, you want to build that trust. Because when that trust is there, then you can say no with the best of intentions. With the best of intentions, not right now. They'll also know that no doesn't mean never. They'll also be aware that no doesn't mean never, but you can also take some steps to train them that no doesn't mean never. You can train them and teach them that your need and desire to stay focused and get a lot done or get really successful, whatever you're trying to do, because that focus does allow that to happen, is in the long run going to be better for them. It's going to be better for them when you can focus on their time and their attention. And I got to be honest with you, you're not going to be focused, with intensity 8 hours a day. You're going to pick certain hours and certain times to be really, really focused. And those are the times that you need to say no to the other things so you can get the work done that needs to be done. You need to factor in a little bit of time in your day for interruptions or just for spontaneous type stuff, in which case you could say no in an hour or in 2 hours or in 3 hours. So we want to make sure that we are coming at this from the best of intentions, right? It's all about them. And in many, many ways, we're trying to get our stuff done so that we can spend more time with them later. So it's a better event for them later. So think about it. No doesn't mean never. Relationships are really important. Trust is really important. Coming at it from the best of intentions is really important. There's areas where people are going to come in and they're going to ask you for help. They're going to ask you to buy something or do something or take some action. Or you might even have a customer that comes in and wants some help and needs some help. And when you have to say no, and again, there's always going to be certain emergencies that you don't say no to, like house is on fire or somebody got hurt. You just kind of go take care of it. But for all the other things, you're going to have to say no so that you can stay focused and you're going to come at it from the best of intentions. So we've built Laser Focus Blueprint with the best of intentions. We want you to have better bottom line results. We want you to have better peace of mind, and we want this to be an amazing session. We want this to be an amazing training session. And really appreciate everybody's feedback and everybody's comments. Hope you like this video. We're going to do a couple more just to help people understand and respond to the survey results. These are things that are really important and valuable to us. We'll put this program out there for everybody to look at in a couple of weeks. And so just really appreciate everybody's participation in this particular case. If you like this video, please scroll down and leave us a comment. Tell us what your biggest takeaway was. Help everyone learn and grow and gain value from this information. I work with business owners, executives, and sales professionals every day to make the right moves. That's all about making the right decisions so they can achieve the results that they desire for themselves and their family. And as a chess player, I know when you make the right moves, you win the game. And if you make the right moves in business, winning gets a lot easier.